Promise we came to a discussion here today. We are going to discuss about not something very new. It has been there for a time now. We are going to talk about STEM education, or the latest version of it called STEAM education. And joining here with us today, we have one of the experts on this kind of hands-on learning experiences in Sri Lanka. It's no other than Dr. Lakshman Nonis. I'll give you a quick introduction about Dr. Nonis. Simply, he's an academic consultant, and he has been a former teacher and one of the foremost pioneers of popularizing science and innovation in Sri Lanka. And he has been a consultant to the National Institute of Education at Cheesel's Island, and also currently the consultant for the Sri Prakash International School Group in India. And he's also an author and an expert in creating hands-on learning and teaching experiences, and also a teacher trainer. So we welcome Dr. Nonis to our discussion here today. Good evening, Dr. Nonis.
Good evening to you.
So my first question is actually something that is a very basic introduction. So these days, there is actually a hype about robotics, STEM education, innovation. So I have seen in schools trying to incorporate robotics, STEM education programs to their curriculum, sometimes as an after-school club activities. And even there are a lot of institutes, local and international, especially locally, like mushrooms. Institutes are coming up offering STEM education programs, robotics programs, innovation programs. There's a lot of hype about it in Sri Lanka in the last 4 or 5 years. So, Dr. Nonis, would you tell us what is actually STEM education, or rightly what we call as STEAM education, the latest version? What is it?
The STEM means science, technology, engineering, mathematics. STEM. Now, we switch on to STEAM: science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics. So basically the STEAM or STEM education is something to link with innovation. That is problem solving. Now we have science classes in the school. It is something for the children, for the rote learning. You see, it is, you read the books and you pass exams and all that. STEAM education is something different. You see, the children are made to think, solve problems, and apply what they have already learning. And it can foster curiosity, creativity, and imagination in young minds, and inculcate skills such as design mindset. You see, designing is very important. I told you, STEAM, art. So the children are made to, design things after thinking. They have a problem, they want to solve a problem, so they design. This is something important. So something to do with art. And computational thinking and adaptive learning. Young students should have a chance to work with tools and equipment. So in the science class, we have equipments. Those are something to do with laboratory equipment. But we are not, they are not handling with tools and equipment. These tools and equipments are very important. Suppose if you go to be a surgeon, in the time to come, if you want to be a surgeon, you have to use tools. You see, simple tools. So you have to be equipped. You have to have the skill of handling tools. So that is something very important. And also not only for the surgeon, for any profession, Now tools and equipments are very important. So that we forget all these tools and equipments and we try to do something else. And to understand how wide the aspect of STEAM. So this is something, the science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics. So the teacher should be well versed in, in science, technology, arts, engineering, arts, mathematics. So this is what STEAM is.
Okay, I think that was a very insightful description about STEAM or STEM education. As Dr. Nonis rightly said, it's a combination of science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and arts, and it's equipping the children to think and be innovative, creative, and become problem solvers. And those are what we simply call as the 21st century skills. So I think Dr. Nonis gave us a very insightful description about STEAM education. So which lays the foundation to the next question. Actually, I myself, being a teacher for about 12 years now, I have been associated with school level innovators, young inventors clubs, and I have come across STEM programs that schools have started implementing robotics programs, so-called innovation promoting programs, uh, and offered by different institutes and different groups. So in these programs, most of the time what happens is kids are given some, mostly they use some popsicle sticks and a glue gun and sometimes an Arduino board, and they were told to, connect the components. Okay, you connect this and it will happen like this. So it really made me question that, is it really STEM education? Like, is it bringing out problem solving skills? Is this bringing out innovation in children? Because we are just giving a tailor-made set of activities to students. We are actually limiting their thinking. We are not letting them to be creative. So then I actually read and researched about STEM education. I found it to be contradictory to what actually the Western world is doing. So my next question is to you, Dr. Nonis, is STEM education is what they are doing currently, connecting few components and giving students a set of tailor-made activities. Is it STEM education? Is it, how do we cater STEM education? What are your thoughts on this?
We can't consider that as a STEM or STEAM education. Now see, a child is given a battery and a bulb with a holder. Now you ask the child to light the bulb. So very simple. Bulb is lighting. The bulb is lighting. There is nothing to learn in this. You are just fixing the parts. There is nothing to learn. Suppose if you give a wire, if you give a wire and a bulb and a battery, now you get the child to observe the parts of the bulbs. Now this is discovery learning, the parts of the bulbs. So why the tungsten things are there? Why there are two conductors in the back and the side, and the battery? Get the children to observe the battery, plus minus, and how you ask for the battery. Now see, you go to the shop and ask for the battery. That is a skill. Give me a battery. So shopkeeper will be, wondering. So he brings all types of batteries. Now this is size D. You ask the real type of the battery, the size. Say, give me a size D battery, size A battery, size double A, triple A, like that. See, get the child to, technologically use the words, and you get the child to try out with the simple naked bulb and the wire to light the bulb. And that is something thrilling experiment, how you try to, by trial and error, you try to do it. So this is something important. And not, just try to fix things and, child will do, they will not learn anything. They will just fix. There is no learning is taking place. Learning is taking place with when they get stuck, when they try to do something, and when they struggle and they ask questions for themselves. Now, when it is not lighting with the wire, they will ask why it is not lighting. So they are questioning them. They have to question themselves why it is not lighting. So that is science. You ask why it is not happening. Why this is happening. So that is science. So the science is not cannot be taught as geography or history or something like that. The problem is we are trying to teach science. We give them some components and you try to fix them. There is no science there. Actually, we have failed in the system because science is taught as not science. I hope I answered my question well.
Yes, sir, indeed, because actually you gave a very nice demonstration also. Uh, so actually you explained why asking questions for themselves is important. Like as you said, the system has failed because we stop children from asking questions. There is a system that we just try to spoon feed children, and children stop asking questions from themselves. And I think that is actually diminishing the actual learning that is taking place. You described it very well, sir. So, Dr. Nonis, if I take you to a bit towards education psychology, now we were talking about innovativeness, creativeness. Uh, are kids born creative or born innovative? Can we teach or can we train them to become more creative and innovative? What are your thoughts on this?
Yes. Now, when you go to the psychology, the children are born with a lot of intelligence, according to Harvard and Garn. Multiple intelligence theory. So the school should try to discover. School is should try to discover the inner ability of the child, and it should be well developed during the 13 years of schools, which is not happened. So the multiple intelligence theory, you are born with lot of things: musical intelligence, mathematical intelligence, language intelligence, all that is there. So nothing is developed. So this is where we have failed, because the the curriculum is made in such a way that teachers are not, and the authorities and the designers of the curriculums, they have not found the needs and wants of the kids. They have not trying to window into the child's mind. You have to window into the child's mind and then ask why, how we, how the child could grasp things, how the child is going to window these things, and then you have to have programs for kids. And most of the time, we find teacher talking, and children are listening, and passive learning is taking place. So if you want to have active learning, the child should have the empowerment, and teacher should be a facilitator, and the child should have the authority to do activities and learn by themselves, where their learning is taking place. And they will enjoy the learning, and they will try to develop the so-called talents. That is what has happened. That is what is happening also in the schools.
Okay, sir. As you said here, children are born with a lot of intelligence and curiosity, the learning experience should be catered in a such way that children are made to explore, use their innate abilities of curiosity, creativity. If they are not being given a chance to, for the students to explore their abilities, creativity and all these things would die off. I think that's what you were trying to emphasize. As you rightly said, most of the teachers these days are following the lecture method rather than activity-based learning. I think they will give up a lot of excuses for this syllabus coverage and all these things. But we are creating a generation of what do you call parrots if we are not driving students towards active and more question and curiosity-based learning approach. Taking you back to yes, sir.
And I would like to add something also. If you want to have the develop the innovative and the imaginative talents within the minds of the kids, you have to season their brains so that seasoning is not taking place, because the brain is used as a not used as a thinking machine. Brain is most of the time children are using as a warehouse to store the memory, because we are testing the memory only. So we have failed in the education system because we are not training the child to use the brain as a thinking machine. And also we are developing only one part of the brain. Both parts are also not developed. That is why the country has failed so much of problems in today's context.
That's absolutely true, sir. That's a brilliant thought you just shared with us. Taking you to our next question. So an average parent might not really understand the importance of STEM education. Now, in the Sri Lankan context, actually parents are, it's sad sometimes. Even parents who are educated, they would think that gathering paper qualification, securing the toppest grades, and getting the child to a top grade university and get the best paper qualifications will make sure their child to succeed in life. That is a concept most of the parents share. So sometimes they put little value when it comes to extracurriculars, even when it comes to innovation programs or STEM programs. They, as long as it doesn't carry certain certificate of certain value, a paper qualification, they would think it's not valuable. So that's the common perception the parents in our country has. What are your thoughts on this? How can we make a parent understand what is the importance of STEM education? If you can.
I had sometimes back I had experience on this. I started then I was at St. Peter's College, Bumblebee. So I had this I had 3 labs. So one is an electronic lab, one is a woodworking lab, the other one was a motor mechanism lab. So I was the head of the middle school. So the children used to come to these 3 labs when they are free, especially in the middle school. And it happened so that in a parents meeting, somebody said that Mr. Nonis is trying to produce carpenters and basune and all types of people in this education system. What he is trying to do is to produce basunas and whatever, technicians and whatever. And the parents were scolding me. Then I said, if the children like to do that, why don't you allow? Let them do it. After about 6 months, in the same one of the meetings, they said that is wonderful things are happening in our houses. All the chairs, broken chairs are repaired. Radios are being repaired. All the electronic gadgets are repaired. And we think that, something is happening in their life. So this is what is it takes time to change the parents. And parents, they don't understand. and this is part of education. So the parents also should be educated the same way, and because the paper qualifications are very important, but still that skillfulness, see, soft skills, skillfulness, lot of things, and values in life, all that is important when you come to this uh, STEAM education system. The STEAM education system is full of values. You can't say that it is only science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics. When you do that workshop, practice, all that, you see, you get it. And so that's a value education system, and the children will learn a lot of things with this. So the parents should understand, because the parents are worried about writing plenty of notes at the end of the day, because the children can memorize them. That is what is happening. If the child is trying to do something, an innovative thing, I don't think that parents will like it, because they are worried about the memorizing things from the school, whatever the notes. Because when the notes are given, there is nothing to learn. It's good to give a printed note and let the children stay at home and pass exams. I know that there are some kids, they don't go to school, they just wait and memorize the notes and they pass exams. But system has a lot of things more than that. So all that is missing, and now it is time to think with the STEAM. The parents has to think the importance of this, because they value only the paper qualifications. What can you do? What can you do with the paper? You become a mechanical engineer. You can't repair your own car. You become an electrical engineer, but you can't put a fuse. You get the foreman to come and put the fuse. What is this? So when you take these scientists at Israel, I have been working with them. They go and work with the ordinary carpenters and engineers, technicians. They help them. Our country, that those things are lacking. The more you study, you are in the table, giving leave sheets and approving things and all that. So this culture, you have to get rid of this culture. That is why we think the parents think like that. I hope I answered my question.
Yes, sir. You explained it very well. Just adding few more info to this. Actually, now we live in 21st century. We have hard disks, hard drives. We have the internet to store information, and human brain is no longer required as a memory storing machine, as you said. Now, the modern corporates, organizations want employees who are able to think innovatively and creatively. So they call this set of skills 21st century skills. And if you look at today, everyone, like most of the people, youngsters who are coming out, they have a degree of any kind. So education qualifications are becoming more even. What sets someone apart is your creativity, innovativeness, the soft skills, as Dr. Nonis shared with us. So let's move on to our next question. Now, we live in the current context. We are living in a pandemic-stricken world, and we don't know how long this pandemic will continue. So the future of many industries, including education, is uncertain. So the future of the market, the jobs, everything is uncertain. So in this kind of a situation, some experts do say that STEM education is, if it has not been implemented yet, we should do it now. My question is, why it is important that we implement STEM framework, STEAM education framework now? Why it is important now more than ever? What do you think, Dr. Nonis?
Yes. Now, if you take if you take the nature, now see, the most of the primary grade science is something to do with the nature. The thing is, we learn about trees and flowers and all these things are there. But where is the application? Now take shape of the tree. When you try to learn the shape of the tree or the parts of the plants, how do you connect steam into this? This is what is important. The, the curriculum is there. The teacher should be trained to connect the steam into this and give to the kids. This is not happening because the curriculum designers have failed in designing curriculums for the STEAM. If it is so, take the curriculum and change the pattern for the STEAM. The authorities should allow the teachers to be creative and innovative in such a way that they can incorporate STEAM into this curriculum. Now see, I will ask you a question. Why the stem of the tree is round? You learn about trees and whatever. What is there is a answer for that. And lot of then cantilever system is found in the tree. Cantilever, physics. That is all you find in the nature. So the education system has the steam is there, but the authorities and the people who try to speak about steam, they don't know how to incorporate the steam into the system. You can't bring gadgets and do. You bring what are things with the existing things you have. Go to the nature. Nature has got a lot of technology. Birds and whatever. They have a lot of technology. Framework, structures, all that is there. So you can bring steam into this and you can incorporate. We have failed because the thinking system has failed. Designing system has failed. We don't, we do a lot of big things, CAD programs and this and that, but we don't get the child to draw even the leaves of a tree or flower of a tree or whatever. We are not doing the very basic exercises with the kids when you come out with design. So this is something very important. First, they should be skillful, and the brain has to be seasoned with the hands or whatever. So this is not happening. So therefore, the teacher should be trained to use STEAM or STEM with the curriculum. This is not happening. So therefore, children are stagnated. Children they can't go beyond the book. They can't go. So we are trying to go out of the box, and children are in the box, and the teachers are also in the box. So this is what has happened.
Thank you very much for your answer.
Sorry to say this also.
It's all right. I think our audience would understand. And as Dr. Nonis shared with us, if our children can't think out of the box and we are stepping into a future that is uncertain, so I think that won't be that suitable. So it's important that we understand how important incorporating STEM education framework now